Hi, Cheryl here from 24/7 Wellness and Living. So today I'd like to talk to you about your diaphragm muscle, which is actually your main breathing muscle. And I have a diagram here, which hopefully you can see. So the diaphragm is located in the rib cage. It literally fills the whole cavity. So it's almost like a floor for your heart and lungs and a ceiling for your internal organs here. And as you can see, it's attached to the sternum or the ribs and comes down into a little bit of a tail towards the lumbar region of the spine. So what happens when we inhale, this muscle actually contracts, and as it contracts it flattens, so it presses downwards towards the abdominal cavity. So sometimes when you take a big breath and you see a bulging in the abdomen, this is the diaphragm muscle contracting and pressing down. When we exhale though, the diaphragm actually domes and rises up, so it pushes the air out. So inhalation, diaphragm contracts and flattens, so draws the air in. Exhalation, diaphragm domes and rises up towards the sternum. And this is almost like, you know, when somebody's choking and you use the Heimlich's maneuver, you're actually hitting here and you're just forcing that diaphragm up, which then forces a huge amount of air and expels whatever's in the throat, you know, choking that person. So the diaphragm muscle is obviously pretty key in the body. It's our main breathing muscle. Put that over there. And so it's actually an interesting muscle because it's a voluntary muscle and an involuntary muscle. So i.e. it means that it works without you thinking about it, obviously, thank goodness, and but also you can take it under your conscious control. So you can actually make the diaphragm work a little bit harder. And we do that, and the reason actually that you should do it is because it responds to overload like most muscles in our body. So when we are working a muscle, the only way we get it stronger is we work it to that overload, to that point where, you know, you're just taking it to a little bit of an uncomfortable position, and then, you know, it just starts to get stronger and therefore more efficient at doing its job. So obviously you'd like the diaphragm to be stronger and more efficient at doing its job. So what happens, and a great way to train the diaphragm, is when you take an inhalation, so i.e. when you take that nice big in-breath and that muscle contracts, what I want you to do is when you feel you've inhaled all you possibly can, just pause a moment and see if you can force in a touch more air. And what that'll do is just press the diaphragm down a little bit further. Now, on your exhalation, when you feel that you've exhaled all you possibly can, and I want you to really exhale all that air, allow the diaphragm to dome and come up, and when you feel you've exhaled all you possibly can, once again, pause a moment, but this time I want you to use the deeper layers of your abdominals. So you're literally going to suck your waistline in, so you activate transversus abdominis, and almost feel the rib cage closing and flattening, as if they were the rib cage was sort of moving towards your back pockets a little bit. And that's going to incorporate internal obliques. So into the breath, we're actually going to incorporate some of the deeper layers of our abdominals. So great way to strengthen the diaphragm. Inhalation, when you feel you've inhaled all you possibly can, just pause a moment, see if you can force in a touch more air. It's just going to contract it down a little bit more. And then on your exhalation, when you feel that you've exhaled all you possibly can, once again, just pause a moment, and then deeper layers of the abdominals, transversus abdominis, suck the waistline in, really pull it in. Feel the rib cage closing and flattening from the sides. And as I say, that will really help strengthen the diaphragm. And if you strengthen the diaphragm muscle, it'll become more efficient. Therefore, breath will become more efficient, circulation improve, energy levels improve. We can breathe out like 70% of the toxins from our body with a good cleansing breath. That's why often, you know, in yoga, they call it the cleansing breath, when you just literally force the air out. And so use that diaphragm. So anytime you can, just take, you know, good 10 breaths when you're quiet, you know, maybe just laying in bed at last thing at night or first thing in the morning, or anytime, and really take and focus on the breath and almost see the movement of the diaphragm as you inhale and exhale. And as I say, by strengthening it, you'll actually improve its efficiency. So I'm Cheryl Alker from 24/7 Wellness and Living. Thank you for your time once again today. I appreciate it. Remember to visit our website www.247wellness.com, and if you'd like to receive more information from us, remember, sign up to receive our newsletters, visit our Facebook page and like us on Facebook. Thank you again. I appreciate your time.